Close your eyes. You arrive at the edge of Salem village, just as twilight begins to deepen into night. The last light of the sun fades behind the trees, leaving the sky a pale wash of amber and grey. A cool breeze stirs the air, carrying with it the smell of wood smoke, damp earth, and the sharp sweetness of fallen leaves. Ahead, the village lies quiet. Wooden houses with steep roofs lean close to the narrow road, their small windows glowing faintly with candlelight. Thin curls of smoke rise from stone chimneys, drifting upward into the darkening sky. The wooden planks of doors are marked with the grain of age, creaking softly as they shift in the cool. Lanterns hang from posts along the main path, their flames flickering behind glass panes clouded with mist. Their glow stretches long shadows across the cobblestones, bending with each breath of wind. The sound of footsteps echoes softly in the distance, measured, unhurried, like the village itself, breathing slowly with the night. You pause for a moment, taking in the scene. The air feels hushed, reverent, as though the village is holding something unspoken within its silence. The branches of tall, bare trees reach across the road, their silhouettes sharp against the fading sky. Somewhere far off, an owl calls once, then falls silent. Your steps begin again, steady, calm, carrying you down the lantern-lit path. With each step, the world behind you grows dimmer, and the village before you grows brighter. The glow of windows, the rhythm of footsteps, the scent of wood smoke, they guide you inward, deeper, into the heart of Salem on an autumn night. You walk deeper into the village, the cobblestone path firm beneath your feet. Each stone is cool with evening frost, the edges softened by centuries of passing footsteps. The road narrows between rows of timber-framed houses, their walls leaning close as if whispering to one another. Lanterns sway from iron hooks above doorways, their light painting gentle arcs across the ground. A sign creaks in the wind, the worn board of a tavern or shop, its letters faint but familiar to those who live here. Shadows stretch across the windows, where candle flames flicker like watchful eyes. The air is rich with the scents of the season, drying herbs hanging in doorways, smoke from hearth fires, and the faint sweetness of apples stored for the coming winter. Somewhere nearby, the low murmur of voices slips through the walls of a home. Words indistinct, softened into nothing by the night. You pass a garden fenced in rough wood, its soil resting now after the harvest. Pumpkins sit among the straw, round and golden, their skins glowing faintly in the lantern light. A black cat darts across the path, pausing just long enough for its eyes to glimmer before disappearing into shadow. Above, the moon has risen higher, silvering the rooftops and outlining the trees beyond the village. The branches sway gently, their motion slow and deliberate, like hands tracing patterns against the sky. The street grows quieter the further you walk. Only the sound of your footsteps remains, steady, calm, echoing softly between the houses. The village does not resist your presence. Instead, it seems to fold around you, as though you have always been part of its autumn night. At the end of the path, a tall wooden building rises above the smaller homes. Its frame is stark, its roof steep, its windows narrow and glowing faintly with candlelight. This is the meeting house, the center of Salem's gatherings, its heart of silence and prayer. The heavy door groans as you push it open, the iron latch cool in your hand. Inside, the air shifts instantly, warmer, thick with the scent of smoke, beeswax, and aged wood. The flicker of firelight spills across rough-hewn beams and long wooden benches, worn smooth by years of hands and bodies at rest. You step softly, each board creaking beneath your weight. The sound echoes briefly through the quiet hall, then fades, leaving only the low crackle of the fire at the hearth. Its flames glow golden, throwing shadows high along the timber walls, where carved beams stretch upward like ribs in a great wooden cathedral. Candles burn in iron sconces, their light trembling gently, illuminating the room in soft circles. At the far end rests a simple pulpit, draped in linen, its edges frayed but clean. Behind it, a single window frames the night sky, the moon glowing faintly through glass warped by time. You pause at a bench near the hearth, lowering yourself onto the worn wood. The warmth seeps into your skin, settling into your body like a gentle weight. The hall is empty, but it does not feel deserted. It feels held, as if voices still linger here, whispers pressed into the wood, waiting to be heard again. The fire sighs, sending a soft spray of sparks upward. You close your eyes for a moment and let the silence gather around you, steady and unbroken, like a cloak draped over your shoulders. Here, in this quiet hall, the world outside feels far away. Only wood, fire, and breath remain. You step once more into the night, the door of the meeting house closing softly behind you. The air feels cooler now, carrying with it the faint bite of approaching winter. The village lies still, lanterns flickering quietly, while beyond its edges the land opens into wide fields resting after the harvest. You walk slowly along a dirt path that skirts the edge of the fields. The earth beneath your feet is firm, scattered with straw and the brittle remains of stalks. The harvest has passed, and the soil sleeps now, waiting for spring. In the moonlight, the rows stretch outward like faint lines etched into the land, ordered yet softened by shadow. The scent here is different, less of wood smoke, more of earth and air. The fields carry the faint sweetness of hay, the dryness of husks, and the cool dampness rising from the soil. A breeze stirs through the grass, brushing against your ankles, carrying the whisper of leaves across the path. Pumpkins rest at the far edges of the field, their rounded shapes catching the silver light. A scarecrow leans against its post, its straw-stuffed arms stretched wide, its shadow long across the empty ground. The sound of crickets rises and falls in the distance, their rhythm slow, steady, a song written for the night alone. You pause at the edge of the field, the village now behind you, the forest ahead. From here, the sky seems vast, filled with stars scattered across a dark canvas. The moon glows high, casting everything in pale light. The fields, the path, the trees that wait in silence at the horizon. The air is cool, still, filled with a quiet that feels older than the village itself. You breathe it in slowly, letting it settle into you, steady and calm, before taking another step toward the waiting woods. You leave the open fields behind and step toward the forest's edge, where the trees rise tall and close, their branches forming a dark lattice against the moonlit sky. The path narrows here, covered in dry leaves that crunch softly with each step, their scent sharp and earthy beneath your feet. Lanterns have been hung along the first stretch of the trail, their glass panes misted, their flames bending with the wind. Their glow pools faintly against the trunks, lighting the way forward in uneven circles of gold. Beyond their reach, the woods stretch deep into shadow, the trees whispering as the breeze stirs through their branches. The air is rich with the smells of autumn, damp bark, fallen leaves, and the faint sweetness of apples left behind in nearby orchards. Every so often, a gust carries with it the sharp tang of smoke, drifting from a hearth somewhere far behind. You walk deeper, listening to the forest. The sound is not silence, but a different kind of presence. The groan of branches shifting with the wind, the soft patter of acorns falling, the distant call of an owl moving between trees. Each sound is distinct, yet all merge into a rhythm that feels timeless, steady, grounding. The path bends, leading you beneath an arch of intertwined limbs. Above, the moonlight filters through in pale fragments, striking the moss along the bark, the frost that glimmers faintly on the leaves. A fox crosses the trail ahead, its body sleek, its movements soundless. It pauses just long enough for its eyes to catch the light, then disappears into the undergrowth. With each step, the world behind you seems to recede. The village, the fields, even the lanterns. What remains is this: the breath of the forest, the path before you, and the steady sound of your footsteps carrying you deeper into the autumn night. The path leads you forward until the trees begin to thin, their trunks spreading apart to reveal a small clearing hidden deep within the woods. At its center, a fire burns, not a roaring blaze, but a steady bonfire, its flames rising in calm waves, sending sparks drifting upward into the star-filled sky. The air here is warmer, the scent of smoke mingling with pine and damp earth. The firelight glows against the surrounding trees, painting their bark in amber and gold, while shadows stretch outward like long fingers across the clearing. You step closer, feeling the heat brush against your face, steady and soothing after the cool night air. The fire crackles, each pop and hiss like a voice in conversation, its rhythm unhurried, timeless. You lower yourself onto a fallen log near the edge of the flames, the wood smooth, polished by many nights of rest. Around you, the clearing hums with quiet life. The wind stirs through the leaves, lifting sparks into the night. An owl calls again from the branches above, its voice low and resonant. The grass beneath your feet bends softly, cool with dew, grounding you in the moment. You gaze into the fire, watching as the flames curl and twist, their shapes shifting and dissolving into one another. For a moment, they seem to take form: a house, a tree, a face, before collapsing back into light and shadow. The longer you watch, the deeper your breath becomes, your body sinking into stillness. Here, in this glade, the fire feels ancient, sacred, as though it has burned for longer than memory. Its warmth reaches into you, softening every thought, every weight, until only quiet remains. You sit a while, letting the night hold you, the fire steady at your side, the stars endless above. From the edge of the clearing, you notice a line of lanterns moving slowly through the trees. Small, glowing orbs of gold, swaying gently with each step of their bearers. They drift like fireflies, weaving a quiet path through the darkness, their light both delicate and steady. You rise and follow, your feet brushing against the leaves as you fall into step with the procession. No words are spoken, only the rhythm of footsteps, the occasional creak of wooden handles, and the soft breath of wind accompany the glow. The lanterns are simple, iron frames with clouded glass, their flames flickering like captured stars. Their light falls in warm circles across the forest floor, illuminating patches of moss, curling roots, and the pale outlines of fallen branches. As you walk, the woods seem to shift around you. The trees stand tall and silent, their trunks etched with shadows that stretch and sway. The air feels cooler here, the scent of pine sharp against the damp earth. A crow calls once from the distance, its cry fading quickly into the night. The path winds gently downward, carrying you toward the village once more. Above, the moon rides higher, its silver glow merging with the lantern light below. For a moment, it feels as though earth and sky are moving together, the heavens casting light from above, and the procession echoing it here below. You breathe deeply, your steps in rhythm with the others, your lantern swaying at your side. The forest no longer feels vast or uncertain. It feels softened, hushed, wrapped in a shared quiet. The line of light bends forward, leading you back towards Salem, as though guiding not only your body, but your thoughts, your breath, your dreams. The lantern procession winds gently out of the forest and back into Salem, the quiet glow merging with the faint lights already shining from the village windows. The air feels warmer here, touched by the breath of hearth fires, the scent of smoke drifting between the houses. The cobblestone path greets your feet once more, cool and solid, echoing softly beneath the measured rhythm of the group. The homes are close again, their timber walls leaning toward the street, their windows glowing like watchful eyes against the night. From one doorway, faint laughter drifts out, low and warm, before fading as the door creaks shut. A shutter swings lightly in the breeze, creaking against its hinge, the sound steady and familiar. A dog barks somewhere down the road, the sound sharp for a moment before dissolving into silence. You pass beneath lanterns hanging from wooden posts, their flames trembling with each gust of wind. The procession pauses briefly as one is adjusted, its glass pane wiped clean so the light may shine more clearly. The glow spills across the road, catching on fallen leaves, their edges curled and golden. The homes themselves seem gentler now than when you first arrived, where before they stood still and silent. They now feel softened by the night, wrapped in smoke and candlelight, warmed by the unseen lives within. The path leads toward the meeting house once more, its tall frame rising like a dark silhouette against the moonlit sky. The lanterns sway quietly as the group draws near, each flame steady, each circle of light overlapping with the next, until the entire road glows with an amber warmth. You realize then that Salem is not empty nor silent. It breathes through its fires, its windows, its voices carried on the night air. And now you walk within that breath, guided by its rhythm, settled into its calm. You step into a small, timber-framed home near the village square. Its doorway is low, the lintel worn smooth by many passing hands. Inside, the world narrows to warmth and firelight. The hearth glows with steady flames, their light spilling across the wooden floor, flickering along the beams above. A pot hangs gently above the embers, steam curling upward in thin threads, carrying the faint scent of herbs and broth. The air is thick with the fragrance of pine logs, resin crackling softly as the fire consumes them. A chair waits beside the hearth, its surface polished by years of use. You lower yourself into it slowly, the wood creaking faintly under your weight. A woolen blanket rests nearby, its fibers coarse but comforting. carrying the faint scent of smoke and autumn air. You drape it across your lap, the weight grounding, steadying. The room is simple but full. Shelves along the wall hold jars of dried herbs, bundles of lavender and thyme hanging in small clusters. A single candle burns on a table near the window, its flame trembling gently each time the wind brushes against the shutters. Beyond the glass, the night is silver with moonlight, the faint outline of trees etched against the sky. The fire pops once, scattering sparks that fade before they touch the stone. The sound is sharp, then soft again, folding back into the rhythm of the flames. You breathe deeply, the warmth sinking into your chest, loosening every thought and every muscle. The blanket settles heavier across you. The chair holds you still, and the hearth glows steady. Here, in this room, the night feels far away. Only the fire, the blanket, and the rhythm of your own breath remain, and you allow yourself to rest, listening to the quiet conversation of flame and wood. The fire in the hearth has burned low now, its flames softened into glowing embers. They pulse gently, their light dimming and brightening like the slow beat of a heart. The shadows along the walls have grown still, heavy, stretching across beams and floor until they fold into the quiet. The blanket holds you in its weight, warm against the cool of the night air that seeps faintly through the shutters. The chair beneath you feels steady, solid, as if carved not just of wood, but of time itself. Your body has grown heavy, anchored in comfort, each breath carrying you further into ease. Outside, Salem sleeps. The lanterns along the street have dimmed, their flames guttering low. The houses are dark now, windows shuttered, their warmth hidden inside. Only the faint wind moves through the trees, brushing the last leaves across the cobblestones. The village rests beneath the watch of the moon, cradled by its pale silver glow. Your eyes drift closed, the warmth of the hearth fading into a soft hum at the edge of your senses. The sounds of the night blur, the wind, the wood, the faint call of an owl far away, until they are no longer separate, but one gentle rhythm surrounding you. You breathe once more, slow and deep. The embers glow, the world softens, and you surrender to sleep. In Salem, on this autumn night,